Hello and welcome to MBK and Models. Now I've worked the solid block down to a far better shape, engine cowl shape, so here you are. What I did was put a bolt through it and then I applied sandpaper and just kept going with it. Very enjoyable work, and it's produced this shape, which is good. I did think about vac forming, but with vac forming you've got to make a plug, so for vac forming you've got to make one of these and then vac form plastic, so you might as well have one of these. I'm going to put some pictures up of what the solid block looked like in work in progress type thing to create these. All right, there's two of them, so this is the first one. The first one was very much a trial and error process. I put a bit of paint around just to see what the finish looks like. And there's a little bit of sheet rubber stuck around the edge to make it a little bit smoother. The second one, as you can see, is a lot better. It's always the same. Everything's a first run, and I hope they sort of, one looks sort of bigger than the other, but it'll change that and as I sand in it, etc. Funny enough, off camera they don't look that much bigger, but they are. So in all of it, a little bit of sheet rubber's got to go on this one. I'll do that today. I'll put some sheet rubber on it just to round up the edges a little bit on there. What I'm doing today is literally preparing the center section to marry these up with them. They're a little bit shy of size on this part here, this diameter circumference here. It's a little bit shy of size, so I bought some plastic card to stick on the bottom and then make it up a little bit. But like I said, I mean, I think holding this up to the camera has been pretty good because it needs a little bit of sheet rubber stuck on that one, which would go on a lot better than the first one. But with a 1939 plan, everything is a first run. This is what I like about vintage builds. You get a modern kit, literally they give you the ABC and the instructions and walk you through the building of that plane, which is great. But when you download a 1939 vintage plan from Outer Plans, I can only recommend them. And once you learn how to print that plan off, you've got to use all your model building skills and techniques and a few others and check out YouTube videos, etc., ask around, whatever, to create that model aircraft, which is what I find is very interesting work, is to try and make something from the past. Obviously, I don't make it to the letter. The original Airspeed Envoy was rubber powered, and I'm going to do this one electric with brushless motors. But the build is more or less the same. I've strengthened a few bits here and there, and I'm using modern fasteners like nylon nuts and bolts. I mean, I get these from Amazon. They'll sell you a bag of them for, not that much money, and they're really good lightweight fasteners. As you know, or for those who build, you're fighting against weight all the time. For those who don't build, you've got what's called an all-up flying weight, which is your radio gear, your batteries, your motors, wheels, undercarriage, the whole shooting match, and you've got to make sure that all-up flying weight is not too heavy for the amount of thrust, takeoff speed, etc. I find with the lightweight nylon nuts and bolts, they're great fasteners, and it means you can remove bits. Now, say, all being well, when I come to fly this, if this comes down and it breaks, I'm going to attach these on with nylon nuts and bolts, and it means I can take one off, and I don't want to make another one because they're a lot of work, but you can take them off and you can literally make another one. All right, if I was doing it again, I would buy a wood lathe. That's a thing I've got to save up for. They're around about £130 on eBay. Local Lidl's, I went in the other day, they had one for £89, made by the tool firm Parkside. But like I said, I mean, holding these two up has raised an issue, which is good. So we've got one slightly bigger than the other. So that one's a little bit smaller. That one's got the rubber on it, it's a little bit bigger. That's a mixture of polyfiller. No, it isn't polyfiller. It's Wilkinson's own make filler. I thought polyfiller was a bit too much, and I bought this, and it's their own make filler, and it looks like the cousin of balsa filler to me. It feels well, but like I said, problem with some fillers is it's too heavy, and you are literally fighting against weight all the time. What I've done today, let me try and put the camera down, so there you are, you can see the center section from there. What I've done, I've ground off the nylon nuts and bolts. I mean, they were only there for a reason. They were there for one purpose, and that was to keep these plates made out of ply to the leading edge of the center section so that I could build the nacelles. So what I've done now, because I want these to be a flat, you know, to sit on there flatly. Let's have a look. There you go. It's got to sit on. Now you can see the difference in size a little bit. This is why I bought the plastic card. I'm going to cut out a couple of plastic card discs. That'll go on there, and then we're going to put some balsa wood onto this edge. I really do want to attach these though with nylon nuts and bolts because it will give me access to the center section and the wiring at a later time. As I've said before, this part of the aircraft really is the beating heart. It's got the radio gear, it's got the batteries, it's got both motors, and a whole lot of wiring when it comes to it. So I want to be able to remove this, and I want to gain access into here. That's not a hardship. I've started on the port side, and always remember the difference between port and starboard. The way to remember it is the ship left port. So port's left, starboard's right. I'm showing you the starboard side here, but what I've done is already fitted in some nylon nut into the port side. This is already pre-drilled, but it's a lot of trial and error. So it's got to be drilled again and then fitted, and then we've got to get some bolts in this edge here to make up the difference in size. That's not hard. What is hard is trying to get it central, and I'll stick some more sheet rubber on. That can be a tedious job, but it's fine once it's on. So like I said, I'm going to put some pictures up of the blocks when I was making these engine cowls, and you can see how I worked it down. But going back, a wood lathe would be cool, but on the other side, £130 to me is a lot of money, and would it be worth it, me buying it? How many twin engine aircraft am I going to make? If you buy a kit, especially from Gillows, you're provided with vac form plastic parts, which is quite something, and in all of it, I don't know, I do like twin engine planes though. I really have got a feel for them. I mean, I've been sort of working on this at the same time, which is the boxes here, the Bristol Beaufighter Mark 1F. There you go, and I'm fitting into the Bristol Beaufighter a retractable undercarriage. Okay, so they're going up and down now. All right, yeah. There we go. Got it right now. All right, so custom retracts going in. I've got to buy some more micro servos from AliExpress to go in there, but I've got an idea for that one. I'm not going to share it with you at the moment. It's going to be a surprise. Thanks for watching, thanks for listening, and until next time.